What's going on, Cobra Kai and Karate Kid fans? So, Entertainment Weekly just released an article where they sat down with the three creators of Cobra Kai and they shared some of their thoughts on what we can expect from Cobra Kai Season 2. So, I made a little top 10 list from that article. And without further ado, let's get right into it. Number 1, Daniel's Dojo Difficulties. As we saw in Season 1 with Johnny, it's not always easy to fill your dojo with students right away and make an immediate success of a karate dojo in the valley, and with those growing pains comes more rivalry. So it seems that Daniel LaRusso is going to be starting up Miyagi-Do, as we all know from the end of Season 1, but he's going to run into a little growing pains, as did Johnny, as we all remember, in Season 1. Number 2, Sam Strikes. You're going to see a lot of karate from Samantha this year. We have the old rivalries of Johnny and Daniel and Miguel and Robbie, but there's some new rivalries this season, and Sam LaRusso will have a rival of her own. So Samantha finally donned the gi and did a little karate at the end of Season 1, but it looks like we can expect her, as it was alluded to be picking up the mantle, the LaRusso mantle, and doing some much more karate in Season 2. Number 3, Love Triangles. I think part of the fun of having these two rival dojos is allowing us to play with the love triangles and new people getting into the mix. What would the saga that is the Karate Kid be without love triangles? In the original, we had Daniel, Johnny, and Ali. In Cobra Kai Season 1, we had Miguel, Robbie, and Sam. And in Season 2, I believe both of those love triangles will have something to do with the intertwining storylines. However, I feel like there will be something new added as well. And by something new, I mean someone that is going to maybe add a new love triangle or amp up old ones. And who is that character, you ask? Well, that brings us to number 4, the Tori story. Who is Tori? Apparently, she is a troubled teen from out of town, and there is some speculation that she is Ali Mills Schwarber's daughter, Tori Schwarber, or she could be related to Sensei Kreese in some way. We just don't know officially as of yet. The character is played by Peyton List, and as you can see here in the photo I added, that is a backstage, behind-the-scenes look at her with Miguel Zola Maradona and Hawk, played by, I want to say Jacob Bertrand is his name. And so what role she is going to play, I would assume she is going to be the arrival that they're alluded to for Samantha, and also I would have to guess a possible new love interest for Miguel. But we shall have to wait and see if my predictions are correct. But either way, she will have a prominent role, it looks like, in Season 2. Number 5, Daniel Dissuaded. She's entering Miyagi-Do at a time when there's a true thriller going on, dojo versus dojo, as we've talked about, and we'll just see the effect of that and how Daniel's feeling about it throughout the season. So I think what this quote really means is that it's, something that Daniel is going to be super into at first, having Sam be a part of Miyagi-Do and their goals going forward, but I feel like he might have a little bit of a challenge presented to it being such a great idea once he watches things like, his daughter getting kicked in the face. That would be a tough challenge for any parent to still be supportive of at that point, I would think. But I'm sure he will, get over that, and going forward, I feel like she will continue to be a large part of Miyagi-Do. Number 6, Kreese's larger role. You'll get to see more sides of Kreese this year, and I think what I would say is that Martin Koe's performance is fantastic this year. I think it's one of the revelations of Season 2 that I think people are going to be talking about. What I think we're going to see with the reemergence of Sensei Kreese is his, trying to second-guess Johnny or trying to influence how Cobra Kai is run now. And I believe that hopefully we'll also get to see more of what's he been doing for the last 30 years. Has he been teaching karate? If not, how's he been making a living? Will we get to see his family? or any type of, the connections that he's made since the end of the Karate Kid saga. I hope we get to see all that and more.
Number 7, Layers of Kreese. I think the big difference between Season 1 and Season 2 is his presence and everything that he brought to the original Karate Kid he is bringing to this show. So if you're a fan of the original, it's like Darth Vader is back. But because this is a series like last season, you have more time to go through the layers to understand the character in ways that you maybe will look back on the original movie and think a little differently.
Original Karate Kid saga, only very briefly, I think is something that they could play on at a little bit more of like a heavier introspective place. That is the PTSD that John Kreese most likely suffered in Vietnam. And put in that context, how a soldier thinks and functions in a warfare scenario, especially one like Vietnam, could very much lead to what influenced Kreese in the way that the philosophies that he taught. So I think with that in mind, it almost makes Kreese more of a victim in that he was indoctrinated to such violence in Vietnam and was rewarded for those things. So I think with that in mind, it makes it a lot more believable that he would teach and train his students to basically be soldiers like he was trained. Number 8, Philosophies Challenged.
We play a lot with the philosophies in this show, differing philosophies, and how they give that path that you're on in life. I think that with the arrival of Sensei Kreese back in this universe, people are going to see that a lot of philosophies get challenged.
Several philosophies and current social trends were examined in Cobra Kai, two of those being PC culture and also bullying in the case of Aisha and what she goes through. Now, I think there's going to be new philosophies that are going to be challenged in Season 2 and looked at through a different light, and I think going back to the whole PTSD thing, I think that being a more prevalent social issue could be shown through the character of John Kreese. Kreese appears to be suffering from a lot of the same symptoms that a lot of soldiers with PTSD go through, such as substance abuse, depression, and things like that. And I feel like that would be a likely place for them to go and a topic for them to examine in Season 2. Number 9, Allie's Return.
Allie is one of those characters from the movies and in this universe that is very, very important and very integral to the relationship and the rivalry and the dynamic and the history between these characters, and I can say no more than that.
So the big question on Cobra Kai fans' minds, will Allie Mills return to the saga? And my estimation is that she will return to the saga. And I also do believe that the theory that Tori is her daughter is in fact true. And the most likely reasoning for this is probably something along the lines of Tori was getting in with a bad crowd in Colorado, and Allie sends Peyton List, Tori, to Southern California to stay with Allie's parents, Tori's grandparents. And I would also guess that Elizabeth Shue will probably return and make it known to the audience that, yes, she is, in fact, Tori's mom at the end of Season 2, leaving us with another cliffhanger, just like they did in Season 1 with Sensei Kreese. Number 10, Who's at the Gate? So the final takeaway I have from the article isn't from anything that was said by the showrunners in the interview itself, but something, an educated guess I would make from the pictures. It's specifically the picture of Daniel, Sam, and Robbie standing at what looks to be the gate into Miyagi-Do, and I have a guess that I would like to put forward as to who is at the gate. And the biggest giveaway for me is the facial expressions of the three in the doorway, most notably Robbie. And I feel like the anger on Robbie's face could be produced for no one else than Johnny Lawrence, his father. I'm going to guess that at some point, Kreese and him get in a disagreement, and he shows up at the dojo for whatever reason. Just a gut feeling, but that is the 10th and final takeaway I have. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for checking out my 10 things you can expect in Cobra Kai Season 2. Please like and subscribe, and stay tuned for new videos to come all the time. The next one I would have to guess is going to probably be some sort of an Easter egg breakdown for the trailer that was just released yesterday and is awesome. So check that out, check me out, and until then, I'll check you next time. All right? Thanks, everybody.